Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And we're here today in the dark by candlelight where you cannot see us. As we plugged in our laptops to start the show, power went out, hopefully coincidentally, on the entire block. So we're going to just do an audio-only episode today for this week or whatever.
And hopefully it'll be slightly less awkward than when I was trying to do a monologue audio-only episode, because I listened to that. I apologize for that one. I did my best.
Yeah, it's hard to do that by yourself when you're not doing like a full-on script.
Yeah.
It's hard to just kind of talk and improvise, because we don't usually talk to ourselves for extended periods of time. Or I don't talk to myself for extended periods of time.
Yeah, when I do, I tend to ramble.
Yeah, rambling a lot. But we'll have some video up as you watch this. Hopefully it entertains you, and some random pictures. If it gets repetitive, I apologize. There's only so much I can do in this case.
It's true.
News was kind of thin this week.
We did get... I mean, I dug into some weird stuff that's happening, but
yeah.
For the most part, the big news outlets themselves are even mostly shut down.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot coming out right now. I think it's good for developers to kind of get a little bit of time off, because especially toward the end they tend to get pressured to do everything.
Yeah.
But we did get a couple of news items. First one is that Final Fantasy IX is coming to PC and phones, because Square Enix is putting out their games mobile everywhere, all over again. Mobile
everything. I'm really happy about this, because I think you were talking about this earlier this week when they put 9 onto PlayStation. It was condensed graphics just to get it onto 4 discs.
Yeah,
it's kind of what they did with the Xbox version of Final Fantasy 13, where you have to downgrade the resolution. I mean, you know about that, right?
Yeah.
So they downgraded the resolution, compressed the music, put it onto 4 discs, and it still had to go on 4 discs where it was on 1 disc on PlayStation. I'm hoping that what we'll get is a better version of it in regard. I hope we'll get something more towards the original. Yeah. Or I hope it's not. Hope it's better. Well, I mean, I hope it's not straight up port.
I think it will be better than the original if they manage to, if they hung on to the original assets, because before the game came out, this is quite a while ago, but even then we were able to download some of the original backgrounds, and the way that game works is they threw up the backgrounds and then they would put the moving characters in front of it. And so I feel like if they still have those original backgrounds, which were noticeably prettier...
Yeah, even that would...
Hell, just throw those in and let me run around on top of them.
And hopefully they have those, at least, because you said those are assets that were available for download. But the thing, to me, the first thing that I thought about this was, it's kind of like when film restoration and all that became a thing. Video game restoration, video game remastering wasn't really a thing until maybe the past 3 years, when it really became a thing. Before that, it was just that game's done.
Well, with the exception of Blue Point stuff, because Blue Point's been doing this for a while. They're the ones that did the Eco Collection that came out on PS3, and I feel like that was the first time that I had ever seen like a real upgrade in quality.
Wasn't that like, with a re-release? Was it 3 years ago or 4 years ago? I thought it was somewhere around.
It was a while ago. Okay. But like the PS4 wasn't even on the horizon yet.
Yeah.
Because Eco Collection came to PS Plus at one point. That was how I ended up playing it.
Yep. Shadow of the Colossus.
And at that point, it had been out for a while before they put it on Plus. So I feel like that was before the whole rush of remasters and stuff.
Oh no, it's not. It's before the rush. The rush is probably the past year and a half, where everything's remastered. Everything that you've ever liked, maybe. Some of them have been great to be able to remaster. Some of them I think are great games, but it's kind of odd to choose. Like the Sly Cooper games, I really liked them. Whitney's been playing them and enjoying them. She never got to play them before, which I think is the point of a remaster. It's not only to give it to the generation that wanted it to say, okay, here's a cleaned up version, maybe a little prettier. Hopefully it's what you liked out of the original. It's not butchered like Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
But then you also open it up for a new generation of gamers. The Rare collection that came out.
That one's also noticeable because occasionally they'll remaster and updo something that's really hard to find.
Yeah,
and like
which is
the,
cool.
the Rare Replay stuff. I mean, that's NES carts, and like there's just no other way to play a lot of these.
Yeah, unless you have an N64 cart and everything. And what I would, if I had my way, we would get either remasters or what we'll call them ports. It's essentially emulation.
Yeah.
Give me emulation on a console for all PS1 games, for all PS2 games.
Yes.
Let me buy them digitally, because there are games out there. Intelligent Cube, I don't know if you ever played it. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you go online and buy that right now, last time I checked, it was around $75
Yeah.
to buy the freaking disc. This isn't Final Fantasy VII. This isn't a giant game that everyone wants. It's rather obscure. The only reason that I want to play it is because I played the demo constantly. It was a demo that came with my PlayStation. I can't justify paying $75 for a puzzle game, which is very outdated. It's fun, but it's not going to. If I want it in my, I don't want it in my collection as a collector trying to make money. I just want to be able to play a game.
Yeah.
And this is a 15-year-old game now, 20-year-old. Jeez, I'm old. Almost 20-year-old game at this point. So when does it become public domain?
Don't know.
I think 25 years. So 5 more years and I can get it.
There you go. So I'm excited about 9. 9, like once you get to Chocobo Hot and Cold, though, like you're gonna stay there for a good 10. That is honestly my favorite part of that entire game.
Yeah, it's funny how, and I haven't played it. I've seen it, but I find it funny that every time people talk about Final Fantasy, there's always this time sink, and it's not purposeful time sink. It's just like, here's some fun stuff you can do. And then you spend the entire game at, like, for me, it's the Golden Saucer, racing chocobos.
And that was the first one where it really started, because up until then, like 1 through 6 don't really have mini games per se.
And 7 has a whole casino of them. Yeah.
And then
I've
8
reused mini games.
And then 8 had Triple Triad. 9 had both Tetramaster and Chocobo Hot and Cold.
I haven't played Tetramaster.
Tetramaster is... It's a little obtuse because they have randomly generated tile sets. Anyway, it's fun.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I don't know. The phone one in particular is just weird.
I think that they're trying. To me, it's hard for me to play these things on a mobile. I even tried playing on Vita. I tried playing Final Fantasy 8 on Vita. And it just didn't feel right. It's not made for a mobile experience.
The assets, even originally, I mean, at that point we were still playing on smaller TVs than most of us have now.
The resolution's fine. I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah, but even so, there's a lot packed into that screen, and it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Unless you have the whole phablet thing going, and even then,
I just feel cramped doing. There's a lot of games that work really well on a Vita, on a mobile platform, whatever mobile platform it is, be it phone or handheld. But I just don't. I don't see the reason for this other than to say, here, some people may buy it. Yeah. Maybe the numbers are looking really good for their mobile purchases, or maybe they've got it lumped in with cross-buy and they don't. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. What else do we have in the news?
The winter sale mystery going on Steam.
I heard a little bit about this.
Okay, that story is just weird.
Yeah.
We still don't have an answer for you. Maybe we will next week. There's a possibility that it might be leading up to CES, which is on the 9th, I believe. I don't know. It's weird. If you want to look up Steam winter sale mystery. But that's a thing in progress that we wouldn't talk about if there were more news this week.
Yeah,
but that's a thing that's happening. We
don't know what's going to be unlocked. Is that really what's going on?
We don't even know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, it's just that it may or may not be it's definitely a thing, but we don't know what it is.
Right. And there's It does, however, let me talk briefly again about the Afterbirth release on Binding of Isaac, which integrated like online stuff with real world stuff. Where one of the whenever they did, because Macmillan is really proud of his games, and whenever Afterbirth came out, that introduced the character The Lost. Yeah. And to unlock The Lost, you have to die in specific ways to specific enemies. Which is just nuts. Which is insane. But there's enough clues that I think we could have figured it out. Okay. But the community went data mining and dug it up immediately, and he was in allegedly 109 hours. 109 hours after release, they had this thing. And he thought it was going to be this big... Okay, clearly there's a mystery here. Let's all solve it together. And that's what he wanted. Yeah. And so when they released Afterbirth, he included real-world locations, actual posters and flyers near their office. And it's really fun. If you can go find the story somewhere, it's a really interesting thing. And like one of the last tweets that he sent out was, okay, you're getting really close. I just need to remind you, don't do anything illegal. And it ended up being like they had a greed statue buried on Nicholas' property. And it was like marked with coins. Yeah. And once they unlocked it, Tyrone Rodriguez was standing there and I guess sent a message to somebody, and it unlocked for everybody. Okay. In game. Yeah. Once they had figured out the cool. and that was
so it was on his property, like as in his house.
The company property.
Company property. Okay. I was gonna say, when you said that, I immediately thought this guy's like standing out in his yard in his pajamas, going, "Oh, geez, please don't break into my house."
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm interested in stuff like this, and the online communities can do some really amazing things, and so it'll be interesting to see what this turns into. Speaking of Steam, though, Christmas Day they had a security hack which apparently affected like 35,000 users, where when you logged into Steam, it would show somebody else's account.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And they didn't talk about it for 3 days.
That's even more interesting.
Fixed it after like 12 hours or something, but they didn't talk about it for a couple of days. And it was just...
That's something you immediately want to say, hey, this happened, you're okay, or change your password, that's
just habit.
Yeah, every time one of those things come out, you'll send something, you put something up on the Facebook groups and be like, all right, guys, everybody change your passwords. It's that time of year again. Yep. Yeah. So at least to do that, to just say, hey, you may or may not be compromised. Go ahead and change it. So that way we don't lock you out of your games. You change it yourself. Yeah. So, because I cannot stand, it happens at my work, and it's not the engineers or the IT guy's fault. They'll be like, oh, we're doing this upgrade in this thing, and okay, your password is now a generic password, but we didn't tell anybody. Yeah. It's like, okay, wait a minute. So now I can't do my work, and in that case, it's I can't work. But in the case of video games, it's like, okay, I can't play games. Do I need to eat up your support time with calling you or doing I guess you do a password reset through their website. So. Either way, that's just ridiculous.
The really funny thing is I saw a bunch of screenshots of people who ended up with like Russian accounts, so they couldn't even read the titles of the games.
That's like weird.
And we still don't know. Like the release that they said was basically, hey, some users were affected, your stuff is protected. They didn't actually give us a whole lot of information, but I like the idea of somebody logging in to check out their games and then like trying to download a bunch of games that were only in Russian and being frustrated at trying to profit from the system.
Well, the good thing about Steam, though, in regards to this doesn't protect the user, this is more about the developer and Steam. If you download a game under someone else's account and then you log into your account, because everything is written, everything is right to where it's supposed to be. So let's say someone logged into your account, downloaded games of your games, and then Steam fixed everything. They can't play your games anymore. because they have to log in as you.
Right.
So that's a good thing about that, at least. Not that your save files are not on Steam; they're locally saved.
Well,
so.
but
Maybe
what was it, like a month ago or something? They were able to. They set up the ability to delete games from your Steam account.
Oh, didn't think about that.
You remember that?
No, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would suck. I didn't think about that at all.
I didn't hear about that happening, but that was a possibility, and that might have been why they didn't say anything right away, because internet is ass.
Yeah. Speaking of that, small rant here. I'm still irritated. Yeah, I can't change my PSN name, and that's irritating.
Okay.
I can't delete games off my library in PS4.
Including like betas and stuff.
Betas.
That's the one that gets
demos. Demos.
Yeah.
So I have a game and I have the demo. I have both of them in my collection. Same thing. Xbox. At least with Xbox, it has it separated to say here's what you have installed. Here are available things. So, okay, if it's over there in the available thing, I can look at that and go, oh, that was a demo. Oh, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Don't care about it.
Right.
PlayStation, it's everything.
Yeah, it's your library.
Your library of everything that you've ever looked at in your... not even... If you rented a game, it's in your library. So I rented Call of Duty, and I've rented other games. I've gone over to Redbox or wherever.
Yeah.
Rented a game, and put the game in. That's then become part of my library.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's not in my library, but there it is. Yep. So I have PT. I have Destiny.
Well, you have PT that you can't have.
That I can't have. The worst. It's just staring at me, saying, "You cannot touch me." It is the I'm going to censor myself on that. It's staring at. I've got PT. I have Destiny's beta. I have like three betas. I have a Dark Souls 3 stress test account. It's not even a beta. When they do the beta, it's going to be a separate one.
Yeah.
So I'll have another one. I cannot clear this out. I can't even say, what do I want to display? It's just, it's not even a library. It's everything that you've ever looked at. And that really irritates me.
Agreed.
Yeah. Especially if you go out and you rent games a lot. If you're a GameFly member, I don't know how many people are on here, by the way. Comment if you're a GameFly member. Let me know. Let me know if that's been worth it for you. If you're playing a bunch of games, it may be worth it for you, but then it shows up on there, and then you have to go, oh, wait, no, I don't own that.
Yeah.
Because I already have the irritants of going, oh, wait, did I download that? Do I have the physical copy? Let me find the physical copy, because I'll launch it and then forget that it was a disc. So,
yep.
There's my rant for you this week.
Congratulations.
Please let me change my name and let me clear out my library. Play a little cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
We have power again. Hello, you can see us.
Video.
If you're listening to this, it doesn't really matter if on the podcast. Power is back on though.
All right. So you're talking about. We're just talking about accounts and Steam and their whole security leak and thing. Speaking of hackers doing nice things, Pokemon running on an old firmware version of PS4. They managed to sneak it in through the browser, which I love this. I'm not really. I appreciate the challenge of taking on a console, and it is really neat. Like the original Xbox was an NES emulator for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, not intentionally, obviously, but
right. But I mean,
through the homebrew kind of aspect,
and it was really it's fascinating on both sides for me. I love the tenacity of hackers trying to figure it out, and I appreciate that it brings kind of to the forefront of companies' minds. Hey, we need to watch and be very careful about how we organize and how we make our system. Because up until PS2, Xbox, systems got hacked pretty quickly. Yeah. And I feel like with the 360 PS3 era,
it took a couple of years, but they got hacked.
They got hacked, but usually, like, and this is the case with this one. This only works with firmware 1.76 and past, so you can't even do this on the systems now. They fixed this before it even got to this point.
Yeah.
Which is impressive because that means they're actually staying ahead of hackers, which is really, really hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Considering it took Xbox, I kind of tracked this before the show, obviously, but you would have a new mod for the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360, essentially, you would flash your firmware of your DVD player of your 360 to play burned games. So the version of the firmware on that, by the time it came out, essentially it came out and they had a group at Microsoft that would see, oh crap, someone did this. Let's find a way around it. And you would have, 8 months, 10 months, maybe a year before they came out with something that actually figured out who was doing it and banned you or stopped you. Then there were obviously ways around that again.
Right.
But it was, now it's retro. It's they're finding it before the hackers, which is very impressive.
Which also means that they have teams.
Yeah.
Of people working side by side with the people making the new firmware, and that's cool.
Yeah, penetration testers is the
that's
that's the title. Look it up. I've got a friend of mine who works for Apple, and he's a penetration tester for Apple. And another friend of mine is a penetration tester for Homeland Security. So he tries to hack our government's computers, servers. I wonder everything
how
from
angry
FBI,
they get
CIA.
watching shows like Arrow and Flash where they have just somebody, I'm in. It's like, no, that's not how this works.
I've rerouted 50 internets.
Yes.
Yeah.
The internets. I fixed them.
Yeah. I get angry already, but considering that's what they do for a living.
It's just one of the things that it's just that's hacking is so OP.
And obviously, I'm not saying who this is, and this doesn't really give anything away. But he has ways. If you know enough tech, this is probably like, oh yeah, obviously we do that. He essentially VPNs through either Russia, China. He's got 4 or 5 ones that he essentially proxies through and then back into. So it's as if he's going through Russia, as if he's going through China. All right, let's hack the CIA. All right, let's hack the Pentagon.
Yeah,
and that's his job.
Yeah,
and figure out, here's your problem. Oh, here's your problem.
But this was Pokemon.
This is Pokemon.
They put it on a browser on PS4, and it's mostly a fun experiment. And I thought it was pretty cool.
I think it's really cool.
Even
if it's browser based.
Continuing with modders, the same team that did multiplayer for Just Cause 2 has announced that they're working on Just Cause 3. They don't have anything right now to present to the, but they're saying, hey, look, we know how much fun you had with the Just Cause 2. We're working on it.
Yeah, I heard
cool.
multiplayer was really good on Just Cause 2. I only
watched
played the single player, which I loved.
Yeah, the multiplayer, just watching videos is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-censored, so you didn't have to. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to watch. And I've seen some of the destruction and the big scale stuff that's going on with Just Cause 3. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Which is one thing that I really liked about Red Faction Guerrilla Warfare. And if it's close, I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to be close to that because that game was literally, here's a wall, and I'm going to hit it with a sledgehammer, and you can go through that wall.
Yeah.
If Just Cause 3 was able to do that, because I haven't seen anything like that. It's destructible, things that were already ready to be destroyed. But yeah, if everything was destructible, it'd be pretty amazing. Because that's what I loved about it. And Red Faction, when did that come out? Like 8 years ago? 7 years ago?
It's been a while.
Come on, people.
Well, Crackdown.
4 years ago.
Crackdown looks like it could be pretty close to Red Faction.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that
coming
next
out this year. Yeah. This year.
Right, this year.
Because
it's now
2016. We are filming this in 2016.
Within the next year.
We are filming this.
That was what I meant.
It's the whole.
Yeah, retcon that.
We're in a new year kind of. It's the thing we accidentally write 2015 or whatever the previous year was.
Yep.
Every single time. Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Oculus Rift is going to launch this year. But it won't be with the... I don't know if you've seen the little arc hand touch.
I have.
Okay, so apparently they've gotten some new details and new ideas of how they're going to work with that. So that's actually going to not launch with the Oculus Rift, but it's going to launch in the second half of 2016.
Which I was already going to make this prediction. Oculus Rift is going to not be profitable, is the way I'll phrase that. Oculus Rift...
Well, then it's a good thing that it has Facebook and Microsoft money behind it, because they can just...
Yeah. So what will happen is this generation, because they have Facebook and Microsoft behind them, this generation will be like the first Xbox. That's from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Get our feet wet, try it out. Second generation of VR will be better.
Yes.
Sony may or may not be able to pull that off with their VR headset. But Sony's headset may... If it launches this year, I don't know if it will, but I think Sony's headset may be more profitable than the Oculus Rift for that reason. Next generation will be different, but that's my prediction. Yeah. It's not necessarily a complete flop. People will play it, but it's priced. It's not. Yeah, it's a high price point. It's not going to have that specific controller. So you're going to have to use a wireless controller like the 360 controller. You're not going to use a keyboard with this.
Yeah.
You could use a keyboard and mouse, but that would just be... I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
I guess most games you'd be kind of sitting around anyways, but I feel like I'd want to move my body while I'm moving my head. So.
Well, and on this note, I don't remember if we ever brought this up. You can tell me if we did.
Yeah.
But so the Sony's VR headset is going to have like a separate processing unit that's roughly the size of a Wii.
I haven't heard about that.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. I know that it's
using or I've seen people using the PlayStation Move controllers, which I'm like, fantastic. It's a great use for it.
Yeah.
But I hadn't heard about the separate processing.
Okay, so it's going to be you'll have the headset, and then it'll go from there to a separate processing unit. And then from there to the PS4.
I'm okay with that.
And that's how they've been able to lower the latency so much.
That's exactly what I was
because
going to say.
the PlayStation 4 is a very powerful machine, but it's not designed with that type of quick react. And so
you need ridiculously low latency, and to do that you're also decreasing the weight on your head. Because if that was all packed up into your helmet, this would not be fun. So
it's interesting to see what kind of workarounds, what solutions they've found to just kind of figure out what's going on here. And like you were talking about, the second generation is going to be a whole new thing.
I just thought of something with the PlayStation one though. The PS4 doesn't have a USB port in the back.
Correct.
Xbox has 5.
Goodness. Okay.
So PlayStation has 2 USB ports in the front.
Right.
Is this processor going to be USB plugged into your PlayStation? Or is it going to be a separate power source?
Oh, the power source? No, you have to plug it in separately, I'm sure.
I'm just thinking, I don't know about you guys, but I've already got power issues. Not the power today. I mean,
that was not our fault.
Not our fault, I swear. No, like my entertainment center, I have so I have 5 consoles.
Yeah.
I have. I'm about to add a RetroPie to that Raspberry Pi emulator.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add one of those to that this year. So I have all of that. I have a 5.1, it's actually a 7.1 receiver, but 5.1 surround, my TV, my subwoofer, all of that going on. So if I'm adding, every time that I add something to that, it's more and more and more. So that's not even counting chargers, which I've got have to have a new solution for on that. So
the digital age.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I basically need like another outlet back there.
Yeah, which needs to run off a different breaker.
I need 2 breakers there.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Or I could remote everything off of a closet. Then you have latency issues.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, we'll figure out your issues later, but yeah. And then the last thing we have is that for those who play Skylanders, A little while ago, they released a Bowser and DK and vehicles for each. But the only way to get them was by buying a specific game, and that was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So they've announced that that those are now coming, and they're going to be, hey, you can just buy them. Which, yes, like I understand the marketing behind buy this game, get these exclusive whatever, but no, that's awful.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
It happens a lot with excuse me. It happens a lot with DLC where they're like, oh, exclusive this. Assassin's Creed is guilty of it as well as others.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight, where they're like exclusive GameStop, exclusive this.
Yeah,
6 months, 8 months. It was essentially what it is. Well, with all of them, it's like, oh, it's a Target exclusive, it's a GameStop exclusive, but really the legality is they have exclusivity to it for a specific amount of time, 6 or 8 months. So that it doesn't surprise me that they're doing it after that time. It does surprise me I didn't even hear about this. I didn't even hear about it when it came out. When that Skylanders game came out, didn't hear about it. I think that I'm curious.
If our show had been up then, you would have heard about it.
You probably would have heard about it at that point. I'm curious how Skylanders' sales on that game did. That was so Lego Dimensions wasn't on there obviously at that point. Disney Infinity was, and I feel like Disney Infinity has been really encroaching on that because with Skylanders, Skylanders is fun. Skylanders is the one that started this whole craze, and it is fun. To me, it doesn't have like any Spyro in it. And it just bothers me. It's like it's what is it? The Raven Rabbits, whatever it is, which is
Raven Rabbits.
Yeah. So which is a spinoff of Rayman.
Yeah.
Right. But no one even realizes that, and it's become really popular, and it doesn't have the stuff that I like.
Right.
And I feel that way about Skylanders. I get it, but at least with Disney, it's like, okay, we're Disney 3.0. This is the third version of the game, and now we're giving you Star Wars. We're giving you Inside Out, and and all your other stuff was backwards compatible. The characters are backwards compatible with it. Your playsets aren't, but I get that. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't you can't use your like Marvel. Hold on. You can't use 1.0. I don't know about 2.0. I'll put on here if I'm right or wrong. But there's like a chart you can look at online that says this is what's compatible and this is what's not compatible for everything.
I wonder why.
I think it's because when you use the playsets, that's level packs.
Right.
So essentially you're saying, okay, I'm using level packs from 2.0 and trying to use them on 3.0. It's like using DLC for GTA 3 on GTA 4. It's like, hold on, those are different games. Yeah. So I think they're close enough they could probably make it work, but I don't think that they wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's my personal opinion on it. I think they're close enough in the engine that I think it's the exact same engine.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. So I'm okay with it. But I'm curious to see how their sales are doing now after Lego Dimensions, after Disney Infinity, and to a very lesser extent the Marvel Play Motion, which no one's talking about. It's in stores. It's a thing.
It exists.
I'm a Marvel fan, but I can't bring myself to purchase it, even though they're really cool figures. It's like it's separate from your console. It runs on its own. I feel like I would buy the figures just to have the figures.
Yeah.
And that's it. Disney Infinity, I'm buying the figures to have the figures, but also playing.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, Disney just has the cachet, the name recognition.
Oh yeah.
And Lego just has access to everything.
I
don't feel like Skylanders can, like you said, they started it, but I don't feel like they can survive the weight behind those two because everybody knows these characters.
Exactly. And shout out to Owen on this because I'm not going to take credit for this, but I'd had the thought previously before. Last night he was talking about this, saying, why isn't Nintendo doing this with Amiibos? Nintendo could do a. They already used the name in Nintendo Land, but they could come up with a game that is a sandbox game that you can buy sets. All the Amiibos, they're already selling really well.
Yeah,
but then you would have them selling even more.
Well, when they launched Amiibos, they said that was going to happen. That there were going to be Amiibo games, and it was going to unlock stuff.
And it does unlock stuff.
Yeah, but it's costumes and
yeah, and that's it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, and you can level up your Amiibo
in Smash Brothers and fight it with.
I want to level up. I want Disney Infinity with Amiibos. I want to play a Nintendo game and go, I'm playing with Link now. Now I'm playing with Sheik. Now I'm playing with Samus. I'm playing all the, that way I can have a justification for Amiibo purchases, because right now I don't really have one.
Yeah.
But that would make me go, okay, I have a reason other than I'm not a full-on collector. I'm not a person who just collects to collect.
Yeah.
If I had enough money and space, I would do that. There are people that do that with games as well as figures and stuff. I don't have the space or money for it, but I would at least have a justification to say, oh, that's why I'm buying this Mario figure. That's why I'm buying this figure. So, yeah. Hopefully one day they'll do that.
It'll be interesting because Amiibos have been out for a long time now, and I feel like it should have happened by now. And I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh, very loose prediction.
All right.
NX. These are RFID, right?
Right.
So to work on the it can work on the it's kind of like the Disney Infinity characters or Skylander figures. They're not console specific.
Right.
The console just goes, I know what that is. So for the NX, a Nintendo version of Skylanders, Disney Infinity. If that's a launch title, I will buy it immediately.
Ooh,
I will buy that immediately. Okay, and to be completely honest, if the new Zelda is a launch title, I will buy it immediately as well. But you'll have lots of my money, Nintendo, if that's also a launch title.
Yeah.
Give me a big sandbox that it's easy as this, Nintendo. Sandbox makes me buy Amiibos, and I have level packs that I can buy separately from that. It's money, ridiculous amounts of money for you. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let us know if you think that's going to happen in 2016. What news did we miss on there? If we did miss anything.
Yeah. So let us know.
Have a good one. Now I'm playing with Metroid. It's just the Samus and all these.
You're playing with Metroid.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why I said that.